So did you make? Are you still cool with people on the show? Or any friendships came about?
Yeah. Well, there's several that I have absolutely no interest in having any contact with. Yeah. But yeah, Darren and I have a friendship. We haven't been as close over the past year or so. Just I think life gets in the way. But I consider Darren a friend for sure. I spent some time with him. At one of his, I think it was his nephew's wedding, out in Utah. And then Barbie. We were very good friends. We were very close. We went to New York City together to do the press tour. Had a great time. And then we kind of hit a road bump and had some drama. And sort of didn't talk there for a while. And I was in LA and I was like, I really wanted to tell her about my trip to LA and I was missing her. And I was like, you know what? This is ridiculous. Like, we need to just be mature adults about this and talk it through. And so I picked up the phone and I called her. And to her credit, she was very receptive and very kind. And she was like, I'm really glad you reached out. And so we started talking again. And, the nature of our friendship isn't quite the same as it was before. I don't think it'll ever be the same. But, I consider her a good friend and I value her friendship for sure.
I think that's cool. Because most people, from what I've been told, once they leave them shows, that's it. There's no... Hey, we ain't even talking. We have nothing to talk about.
And I can understand why, because it's honestly I liken it to it's a very trauma bonding experience, because there are very few people that really understand what you went through except the people that were there.
Yeah.
So, if it turns out to be maybe not the best experience, you don't want to associate with that anymore. And being around those people might bring that back to you more, So I kind of get it, saying, I'm done.
Yeah.
Because I feel that way about some of the people on the show for sure. And then there are other people that I just didn't connect with, for whatever reason, and had no reason to contact or talk to anymore. I mean, I don't hate anybody.
Yeah.
There's several I don't have a whole lot of respect for. But, I wish them all well and hope they're doing great.
Yeah, there's some people on some of these shows that I've seen in the past. I think the producers, they get people that's entirely grew up completely different. One person might have had both parents in the household growing up, and the other person might have grew up in the system. I'm like, oh my God. So
and you throw them together.
Yeah, that's a recipe for a disaster.
I agree.
Yeah, so it's so you have 10 people together, it's entirely different. One person, their parents died in a car accident growing up. Yeah, oh my, and when another person might, they might grow up a Mormon. The other person might grow up a Muslim. The other person grew up maybe in Australia somewhere. I'm like, oh my God, this is a crash waiting to happen.
Right.
I think they do that on purpose.
Well, yeah, it definitely makes for good TV, right? It makes for a lot of drama and a lot of different kinds of interactions. But I mean, in reality, that's kind of like what we're all doing walking around in public every day. You come across people that aren't like you. You come across people that are in a bad place. You come across people that you wouldn't otherwise have the opportunity to spend time with.
Yeah.
Which is why, I always try to treat people with respect until you give me a reason not to. And I try to be kind to people because you don't know what they're going through. You don't know. Yeah. I mean, they could have just left the hospital bed where their husband's dying, or their mother could have just passed away that morning, or you just don't know. You have no idea. So you have to give them the benefit of the doubt, and just be nice.
Yeah, I mean, people go through stuff. If people don't respond the way I would like, I don't take it personal. I'm like, hey,
it's about them.
They had a bad day, man. I don't know. But
I used to take it personally. I used to until I realized it's about them. It's not about me.
Exactly. Yeah. So when you left the show, can you walk outside and people be like, hey?
God, no, thank God. When we were in New York City, we got recognized for the first time on the street, and Barbie and I, we like took a picture with her. We got all excited because we were like, oh. But no, that doesn't. I mean, I don't have issues like that.
Well, a place like New York, Atlanta,
yeah.